America's NFL is one of the most lucrative sports in the world, but there are concerns about its future at the grassroots due to the toll the game can take on players' health in later life, and reducing those dangers early is behind a pioneering study, as CGTN's Owen Fairclough reports.
The rough and tumble of a new youth football season underway in Virginia. Maybe too rough, according to a spate of recent research into the long-term health effects of concussions caused by repeated blows to the head. Youth leagues like this are where the future stars of the NFL are found, but the numbers of young players has been declining in recent years, and that's been blamed partly on parents who feel the game is too dangerous for their children to play. Reducing the risks in the millions of children who play at this level is at the heart of a pioneering study at Virginia Tech involving local team Blacksburg. Their helmets are fitted with sensors that monitor in real time how often and how hard they're struck to look for a possible concussion. It's the first research of its kind.
We can look down on the field and see that looked like a big hit, and then we can look down at the screen and kind of confirm that. Hits over 40 Gs of linear acceleration. Those are some high risk, high magnitude accelerations, and basically that means that anything over that threshold could be a risk for some type of injury.
And this is what 40 Gs looks like in the lab where Professor Stefan Dumer collates the data. But stronger, faster and heavier college players and professionals sustain blows at least twice as hard.
A little bigger, more, that's probably closer to 100 Gs.
That looks like it would be very painful.
Right. Once you get to 100 Gs, especially in the lower side of the jaw like that, that would be a appreciable risk of concussion.
Repetitive head trauma chokes the brain.
Concussions from blows like that have been linked to player suicides and domestic abuse and blamed on the brain disease CTE. The doctor who diagnosed it and his fight with the NFL over his findings were the subject of the movie Concussion. Stefan's study is focusing on reducing these risks at the grassroots level.
One of our first publications in this space really showed that you have to change practice to make it more like the game. The kids are actually getting bigger hits in practice rather than the game.
Back on the field, Blacksburg lost its opening game of the season. Those monitoring these young hopefuls hope they can find a way to win without losing their health in later years.
1, 2, 3, Blacksburg!
Owen Fairclough, CGTN, Blacksburg, Virginia.
To discuss the issues around the safety and welfare of sportsmen and women, we're joined in studio by Lamek Bogonko. He is a physiotherapist for Kenya's Rugby Sevens team. Lamek, thank you very much for your time. So, of course, everybody knows the risk of injury is never too far off from a sports pitch. But what's the role of a player, a trainer, and the sports body in reducing these risks?
Actually, regarding safety on the sports, all the sports, is very key that all this, the player, the coach, and the medical personnel needs to undergo first aid training so that they are ready to respond to any kind of issues. If you look at like in rugby at the moment, we are actually taking through all, even from the players, the coaches, the team managers and all that, so that they can be able to have a basic training in first aid. And that's what we are doing. And it's good to be able to educate all these kind of people who play a role so that they can be able to attend to any case, just in case there is a serious an injury just happened at training or during a game. It's very key going forward,
And we've seen numerous cases, I should say, like similar to Rachel Kosgei. So do you think there is a need to educate athletes for them to have a better understanding of how their bodies behave anytime they take part in a competition?
Yeah, that's very key, because I just actually looked on the response, which was for marathon, were giving out the guys who were managing the marathon. Actually, they were saying that there are guidelines where they give an athlete a chance to finish the race. However, the safety of an athlete comes first. So I was not certified according to the way they acted in terms of assisting the athlete. But it's always good that safety of the athlete comes first rather than the competition. And it's always good because when I was going through it, it's like Rachel had gone under, he had lost a lot of water, he has undergone a lot of dehydration. I think he must have missed taking water through. So it's very key for the guys working around him, the team managers and all those kind of people, to make sure that all the athlete knows the importance of hydration and how to keep their body proper during and after the competitions. Yeah.
And how would you rate the level of medical awareness in Kenya, within Kenya's sporting scene, in terms of the care offered pitch side, and does this, and how this of course affects the player?
Of course, pitch side care for mostly for like contact sport is really important actually. Like in Kenya, we have incorporated that we have started training a lot of guys. I don't know about the other sports, but mostly in rugby, where we have really gone into depth that we are making sure that the guys are undergoing the training. And in terms of the level which is at the ground, I think mostly in our contact sport is increasing. We make sure that the trained physiotherapist and a match day doctor actually are on at the scene before actually a game starts, and a proper, well-equipped ambulance with SLS personnel are actually on site before even a match kicks off. And those are the things which we are making sure that really happen before anything becomes serious, because an injury can happen anytime, without even, mostly in this contact sport, without even noticing. Something can be serious and you can lose a life. So it's always something we are really making sure that we are improving. I know there's challenges that most sports and all that, we have had challenges that we haven't reached to a level where like the Premier League is and all the other sports in Europe and even in the US, but we are really doing well in terms of mostly on the contact sport, but still there is a lot of work to be done going forward.
All right, Lamek Bogonko, we appreciate those insights. Thank you very much for joining us.